So I want to sincerely thank our speakers for giving their time today. Niamh Shaw is a great friend of ESERO. Niamh, of course, is a science communicator and a space expert at this stage, and she has done a lot of work with us over the years. There's a profile of Niamh on our profiles page if you'd like to learn more about her. So Niamh will be emceeing the event for us today. Dr. Johnny Ward is a space product manager at Irish startup company Realtra Space System Engineering. And Johnny was involved with scientists and engineers at Realtra in designing and manufacturing the video system that was on the Ariane 5 launch vehicle for the James Webb Space Telescope. Of course, I should have told you at the outset that the theme for today is the James Webb Space Telescope, and that's a new telescope that was launched on Christmas Day, in fact, and that is due to take over from the famous Hubble telescope. And that leads me into Dr. Giovanna Giardino, and she's an instrument scientist at the European Space Agency. And since 2010, she's been working on the near-spec instrument. Giovanna will be working with the data coming from the new telescope, and hopefully she'll tell us a little bit about that as well. And we're really thrilled to have these exceptional people with us today to share their experience and their varied experience. I think you'll learn from their presentations and varied backgrounds. I need to tell you a little bit about ESERO. It's a network of ESA offices or ESA education offices across Europe. There's 20 at the moment and it's growing rapidly. ESERO is the European Space Education Resource Office. So that's really like an ESA education office in each country. In Ireland, it's a contract between the European Space Agency Education Office and Science Foundation Ireland, and that's what I work. And I work on the Education and Public Engagement Department of Science Foundation Ireland. So what we do is try to promote science, technology, engineering, and maths. But with my ESERO hat on, I do the same thing, but I do it using a space as a context. So the ESERO objectives are to use space as a context to enhance literacy and competencies of young people in STEM, to motivate and enable young people to pursue a career in STEM, and to increase young people's awareness of and the importance of space exploration and space research. And how do we do that? We do that in a number of ways that I'm going to be telling you a little bit more about, but events like this are one of the ways that we promote STEM and promote STEM careers and show the importance of space exploration and space research. We also promote and coordinate the Esa Classroom Projects, and there are 4 of those for second level students. CANSAT is the first one and it's the most established in Ireland. In CANSAT, senior cycle students are given a kit, an Arduino kit, and they must build a satellite with specifications, and it has to fit in a can the size of a soft drinks can. And then they're launched and they have to take various measurements using sensors in the satellite. MoonCamp Challenge students design a habitat on the moon using either Tinkercad or Fusion 360, depending on which level of the competition that they participate in. In AstroPi, students write code, which is run on the International Space Station. And if your code or your project is run on the station, you get a certificate which is time-stamped on the space station. And then climate detectives, in that one, students must identify a climate problem, and then they have to use various data sources to confirm or deny that there's a climate problem and come up with some suggestions for solutions. Information about all these projects can be found on the ESERO website, esero.ie, under the projects tab, and then there's a tab for each of the projects. And sorry, I skipped a little bit quick there. As well as honing the technical skills, these projects really help students to develop very valuable 21st century skills that any employer will be looking for, like problem solving, analysis, teamwork, presentation skills, communication skills, all those really important skills that I know you've learned about in the key skills at junior cycle and also the equivalent at senior cycle in school. The ESA Education Office has an ever-expanding portfolio of classroom resources, and they're all published under the Teach with Space brand. They're color-coded, so the red ones are for primary schools and the blue ones for secondary schools. And the easiest way to find them is just to Google ESA Teach with Space classroom resources, and that'll bring you straight through them, because the ESA website is, if you don't know where you're going, it's a little bit hard to navigate. So if you Google ESA Teach with Space classroom resources, that'll bring you straight to them. And there's just a screen grab of some of the resources that are available. There's quite a few there, all covering very different topics if you just would like to have a look at them. We also support STEM teaching and learning by offering teacher CPD workshops. And you can find details of this on the ESERO website, esero.ie, and there under the teacher support section. Upcoming opportunities include our annual Space Education Confluence, which offers an opportunity for teachers to meet with space personnel. Last year, our event was really successful. We got really good feedback from teachers. We used co-creational design principles to design the content and the delivery of the workshop. So we actually went out with a campaign to ask teachers how we could best support teaching and learning of specifically the Earth and Space module at junior cycle. And we will be doing this again this year. So watch out for our Twitter account. So we'll be very shortly, we'll be asking for your feedback. So for now, if you could just save the date for the 8th of October, Saturday, the 8th of October. Last year, we learned what worked very well for us. That was we focused on one space mission, which was the solar orbiter. And we focused on a specific learning outcome from the Earth and Space strand. And last year, it was the benefits and hazards of space exploration. We also have a MOOC, a massive open online course based on climate change. We developed that last year in partnership with our colleagues in ESERO UK. It's a free course. It's open at the moment until the 13th of March. There's 3 modules in it. I think it's about 3 hours a week is the commitment, but you do it at your own time. As I said, it's open until the 13th of March, but if you register before the 13th of March, it stays open for a couple of weeks after that. And again, it will reopen again on the 9th of May for 5 weeks for anyone that's interested. ESA themselves offer online training opportunities. There's 2 open at the moment, and there's a pre-registration then for the summer courses. You'll get that at esa.int/education. So the 2 courses that are open at the moment is ESA Teach with Earth, do it yourself with Earth observation. I don't know what that is, but I think it will be using their EO browser, which is using Earth observation data in the classroom. And then the second one is Code Your Mission to Mars, which is a coding workshop. If you click into those, it tells you the level of expertise that's required. And mostly for these teacher workshops, they're entry level, and people with no experience are welcome and can join. And then the ESA Teach with Space online conference for teachers right across Europe, that takes place from the 5th to the 7th of July. That was hugely popular. Last year was the first time it went online, and it was really popular with teachers who attended. There's pre-registration open for that as well. And again, you get all that at esa.int/education. I couldn't go without reminding you about Space Week, which takes place from the 4th to the 10th of October each year. Again, my colleagues in BCO manage this nationally, and the best way to get information about that is spaceweek.ie, information about resources, information about events, information about how you can get involved. And I mentioned at the beginning, our next Space Week Careers Roadshow will be the Space Week version, and that's on the 11th of October. So if you enjoyed today, watch out for more information about that event. Also need to mention Science Week, because that's managed nationally by my colleagues in Science Foundation Ireland. Again, scienceweek.ie is the website, and that takes place from the 13th to the 20th of November this year. And then finally, or almost finally, just to ask you if you would like to follow us on Twitter. Our handle is @ESERO_IE. That's how we promote most of our events, all of our events and resources. Obviously, everything is on the website, but how we promote them out is through the Twitter platform. So if you'd like to follow us at ESERO_IE, that would be fantastic. And that's my email address if anybody has any queries about anything I've shown you today. Stephanie.O'Neill@sfi.ie. I'd love to hear from any of unfortunately, I can't communicate with the students for child safeguarding and GDPR reasons, but if any of the teachers want to contact me at that email address, I'm happy to take any queries. And finally, I'm going to end with a video about the European Space Agency. And the reason I do this is because there's a couple of reasons. One of the objectives that I mentioned was to promote the importance of space exploration and space research. So I want to share with you the work of ESA. It's a broad video about the many types of work that the European Space Agency does. Second reason I want to share is that everybody knows about NASA, but not so many know about the European Space Agency, or ESA. And Ireland is a paid up member of the European Space Agency. So ESA is our space agency. And I think it's really important that we in Ireland know of the tremendous work that the European Space Agency does on our behalf. So I'll finish with that. I'll play the video and then I'll hand back to Niamh after that.